Greetings and salutations, and welcome back, one and all, to another round of super-powered pummeling on Grudge Match, the show that hypothesizes showdowns between some of our favorite comic characters to find out who would earn the win and claim the crown. Today's episode brings together two random guys possessed by malfunctioning alien super tech. From Marvel, it's the metal-winged new warrior, Darkhawk, against DC's insect-themed teen hero, Blue Beetle. Both of these characters have a vast amount of things in common when it comes to their powers and backstories. Both of them were just sort of random young men going about their daily life when they happened upon small items that seemed innocuous at the time, but turned out to be items of power that allowed them to access alien super tech in the form of superpowers and armor that would encase them and grant them the power of that respective alien civilization. And another interesting factor is that these alien suits that they wear, both of them were meant to completely take over the person that they were attached to, and they would become mindless servants of that alien civilization. But in both cases, the alien tech malfunctioned, allowing the individual to retain control and their original personalities. So taking a look at them individually, and taking a look at Darkhawk first, he was created in 1991, and his real name is that of Chris Powell. He happened upon the Darkhawk amulet. It looks like a triangular-shaped amulet with a jewel in the center of it, and when he accessed it and activated it, he would become Darkhawk. And it appears that he becomes encased in a mechanical suit of armor, but this is not actually the case. He doesn't become encased in armor. Instead, his body switches places with an android body that is being kept in null space. It's sort of another dimension, and his body and the android body switch places in the physical world. And his consciousness gets transferred into the android body. So it's not actually Chris Powell underneath the suit. It's an android body in its entirety. Now, the Darkhawk android bodies were created by the Shi'ar race, one of the most powerful and long-standing alien races in the Marvel Universe. And they were created in order for the Darkhawks to be called the Fraternity of Raptors, and they would be a secret society of very powerful agents working to safeguard the throne of the Shi'ar Empire. The Darkhawk android body gives Chris Powell a variety of abilities, including basic superhuman strength, speed, and agility and durability, all those basic physical skills upgraded. And it also has multiple battle modes and adaptive capabilities. It can go into heavy armor mode, it can go into full assault mode, where its abilities to fire energy blasts and guns and weaponry just appear all over the suit. It can go into a mode that greatly enhances the physical strength. It can go into a stealth mode to fly at very fast speeds. And in any form, he has a very high degree of damage resistance since the body is an android body. It's a super tech alien android that is very resistant to most types of damage. Using these powers afforded him by the Darkhawk body, he became a member of the New Warriors for a very long time, and during the War of Kings storyline, he fought against the Fraternity of Raptors so that he would not be taken over and controlled by the Darkhawk persona that was built into the amulet. Blue Beetle is a generational title that goes back quite a ways in DC Comics, but the current incarnation of the Blue Beetle was created in 2006. His name is Jaime Reyes, and his story is much like that of Darkhawk's. He was a normal kid, and he found a alien artifact which was in the shape of a blue scarab. And these scarabs are used by an alien civilization known as the Reach, and the scarabs become their foot soldiers. They attach themselves to biological hosts, they encase them in armor, and eventually take over their minds completely. But again, much like Darkhawk's case, the scarab was malfunctioning, and it allowed Jaime to retain most of his control over his body, and also access the powers that the scarab armor offers him. Now, it is an actual armor. Unlike Darkhawk, it doesn't switch places with an android body. It is Jaime underneath the scarab armor. but it affords him a lot of the same powers as Darkhawk: super strength, speed, agility, flight, has multiple battle adaptations, can create different weapons and tools from the armor, high degree of damage resistance, some energy manipulation, multiple scanning modes, and an artificial intelligence built into the suit, so a lot of the exact same kind of powers that the Darkhawk armor comes with as well. Using this ability that the Blue Beetle armor has bestowed upon Jaime, he became a solo hero, as well as teaming up with various teams in the DC Universe, even being a Teen Titan for a brief period of time as well. So having taken a look at the powers and backstories of these two characters, it's time to determine what would happen if they were to ever put their skills and their super tech on the line against one another and determine a winner. And that winner is going to be Darkhawk. Seemingly both these characters are on equal footing when it comes to most of their powers and abilities and the extent of their armor's capabilities. But one of the deciding factors is the fact that Darkhawk's body is an actual android body and Chris Powell is not underneath it, which keeps him relatively safe from harm. He can have his Darkhawk android body virtually destroyed, almost down to nothing but a head, and he can still switch places back with it, shut off the Darkhawk powers, and he comes back to the real world, and his body is completely unharmed. Now, when that happens and the Darkhawk body goes back into null space, it is instantly healed, which means he can then immediately go right back to the Darkhawk body and it's fully regenerated. So even if you almost completely destroy the Darkhawk body, Chris Powell can switch places with it, immediately switch back, and you've got a brand new Darkhawk body with full power. Whereas Jaime Reyes is underneath his armor the whole time. If you get through the armor even a little bit, you can do damage to the person underneath. So when it comes to powers, abilities, weaponry, the level of tech that both of these suits and bodies are employing, they might be on even footing. The real disparity comes in that Darkhawk can regenerate his body almost instantaneously, as well as not be worried about being personally damaged if some kind of attack actually got through the outer skin of his Darkhawk body. So based on that, Darkhawk, Chris Powell, and Marvel Comics is going to take home the win of this grudge match. Message me down below, let me know what you think of the outcome of this fight, and as always, any suggestions for future grudge match episodes. We'll see you next time on the next edition of Grudge Match.